Where did all that water come from? Oh, probably ice. Most likely ice. Yeah, let's get that sorted out. There we go. Woot woot, indeed. Right, let's get that swept. As a fairly high priority, actually. Let's get all of that swept out of there, please and thank you. Additionally, I want to extend this out. This will eventually be my airlock. There. It isn't right now, but it will be. And eventually that will have to move. Now the main reason why I'm not strictly isolating this is I don't want the heat to build up too much. I have to have the cap because that's how we get away with not having to also fund a gas filter. I guess technically you could. But no, I'd rather just use the hydrogen balancing. Oh, bless. Aavak, as Settles Gaming pointed out, I was wrong about the sieve. It shouldn't take damage for regular water, according to the wiki. Aha! Modest. Oh, I'm so sorry, Spring Critter. Oh, my lord, it's trying to follow this on tablet is the problem. Let's see. Let me see. Luxy Evil, thank you very much for the cheer. And Spring Critter, thank you so much for the 22 months. Good morning, Aavak, and chat. Good morning to you as well. Sorry I missed that. I was kind of in my own little world, taking care of all of this. Alright, we don't strictly need that anymore. And instead, let's quickly grab... Well, actually, you know what, since it's going to be more of a temporary thing, let's just have a couple of stairs going across there. Oh, poop. Well. Yeah, this is the Oasis map. It looks like we might actually not be doing terribly badly on oxygen now, thanks to these. There we go. Gas reservoir, fantastic. Let's actually check on the last colony report. No, previous. Ooh. Thanks to the CO2 we're producing by burning wood, we're actually generating more oxygen than we're using. And here we are, faffing around with a spawn. That being said, do we still have an oxalite over here? No, we don't. Ooh. Well. Look at that. Isn't that a glorious thing? This colony is not a continuation of the last stream, no. Very nice, oh, 2 loves. I mean, they're not, but thank you. Yeah, that scrap mechanic quote was glorious. Yeah, air can't flow around the rooms vertically. That's a good point. I do need to allow it to move up and down, do I not? Let's pop these in, just in the corners. Problem with that is it is going to highlight the piping, which isn't going to make people happy. Oh well. They will have to learn to live with it. Okay. More oxalite? I think so, yes. Don't even have to think about it. That is a no-brainer. Right, we desperately need this to be done. Not online. We desperately need this to be done. It's just leaking water into the base. Right, once we've run out of wood, though, that is going to be rough times for us. More oil. Gosh darn it, why? Oil reservoir. Got plenty of stuff going on this side. We might be able to try and get through there, but it's questionable. There's a certain lack of logic in mopping this up while it's still leaking in, guys. I mean, it probably would have helped if I took away the order, but never mind. Okay. Right, with that done, we can finally dig that away. And we can also dig this away. And now we can pop this back in. There we go. Once all of that's done, we can get a bottle emptier. Right about there. I'll do nicely. Over here we will eventually want a pump, but that is not necessary right now, so I'm not going to worry about it for the time being. We've only got 660 watt load there. How much do you take? Did I actually say how much it pulls? No. We should be able to find it in here though. It's probably 120. Yeah, it's 120. Okay. Well, we can run that off this little contraption still. We will have to prime the system with a bit of liquid, though. So we'll either run a pump down here and just start filling both of these little reservoirs. Again, these are super temporary reservoirs. This is not the entirety of what I think our colony is going to need by quite a large margin. But it should be enough to get the basics going. They don't trap themselves. No, but they are going the very, very longest way possible around. Just checking up on chat a moment. Yeah, the reason I only have 5 tubes is just because struggling with oxygen at the moment on Oasis. We'll get up to more in a little bit. Water in there, please. I will consider that a 7, honestly. Let's not go for 8s on these anymore. No longer needed. Right, now with that done, we can get back to mopping all of that up. Eventually this will be an atmosuit dock and probably a little bit of an airlock built there. Yeah, I feel that number 10 doesn't need context. It's pretty solid advice. I don't think anyone could actually say that what I said there, even though I don't remember the context, that what I said wasn't particularly sage. I feel that quote 10 needs no explaining. It explains itself. Right, so for this water sieve, I can either pump directly from here into the water sieve for power, and pump that out, then pump that in again, so that's 3 different machines, or I can just allow gravity to feed the water sieve. And occasionally, when there's too much polluted water for the sieve to deal with, the sieve can deposit it back over here. When the water comes out of the sieve, I would say that it empties it out there, but gives a fairly chunky priority to sending it up. This water will go to the water line in the base. And to the electrolyzer. Now, which one I prioritize? I feel that I should prioritize the base's grey water. And any excess then can go up there. Likewise, the base's polluted water come out down this way. There we go. And that gives me a nice self-contained base system of water. Now, additional water for the electrolyzer, and in fact the main system, can be brought in from here using a pump and bridged, so that the water from the sieve takes priority, but should there be a gap in that, then we can pull water in from the small reservoir that we've got. I think this seems like a reasonable system. Now, we can't do the same thing over here. Now, the reason why we can't do that here is because if I were to have a pipe joining onto this, then it would just pump back out here, so I'd just be wasting the power if this system was already backlogged. But this one, the only time this pump will activate is if there isn't enough water in the system to run everything. What games with allocators came out in 2017? Because he was probably playing one when he said that. That is not a guarantee. Chat can have some interesting discussions now and then. It can spawn some equally interesting quotes. Simply put. Well, that is a spine over there that I would like to continue to extend down. where possible. Right, I'm going to turn on auto bottling over here. That should enable me to just pump out whatever is left down here, unless I can already do that. No, it's a little bit too much in there. There we go. Once all of that is done, then this system will be primed and ready to go. That being said, I will actually need to pump some water up from the reservoir just outside. Or rather, I say reservoir, this. Do I filter it or not is the question, though. It's hard to know the answer. Alternatively, I could just continue to mop all of this up, frankly, and that would probably give me a decent bit over here. But well, if we get any clean water into the system, eventually the system will just take care of itself. So, that being said, the water pump, the only one that matters, should be this one. We don't need that water yet. So we've got current draw of 660, so 780, and then 900 should be fine. Okay. I am going to cancel the build there, though, because I don't necessarily want to bring all of that over just yet. I forget about where the puppies are fairly easy to sex quote comes from, but it's basically about when you get young animals, sometimes, you know, the pet shop or something like that. Yeah, no, these are totally both female rabbits. Like, right. Rabbits, by the way, are notoriously difficult to sex. So yeah, there's lots of people who've suddenly been the proud owners of many more rabbits than they expected. Because of that. Puppies, on the other hand, fairly easy. Still mistakes happen, but they're generally fairly easy. Yeah, the glacier water is going to constantly flow because this is so hot. We are going to eventually have a lot of water in here, yeah. At least down here. And that might be fine. I might be completely okay with having just a permanent pump or something down here running on that. But we'll see. How about we turn that off for now? Got a lot of CO2 down here. I'm going to allow them to build up some more of the wood there. At least for a little bit. We're about to have a lot more oxygen than we know what to do with anyway. So, but that was one of the biggest concerns. Now, the second biggest is heat. The heat in this place is staggering, actually. We need to deal with it. Have we got any more ice around here? We do. Really? Is that unreachable? Oh yeah, yes, of course it is. Yeah. Can't go across there yet. We're also getting some oxygen out of the polluted water down here as well. Something that we want to encourage. But again, storing the water in this way isn't going to produce that much. It would be far better if we stored the water in jugs so that it could evaporate a little bit more aggressively. But I am a little bit concerned about the lack of food that we've got right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one dupe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. This should be enough to sustain the 5 duplicants we've got, but it doesn't appear to be doing as I expect. So let's go ahead and just add a couple more. They're not the best. Food, certainly. Has this been filled? No. No, it is not. Not even close to info. Oh, we've got plenty of meal licenses to still be put in there. So we do need to get on that. Is this water particularly hot? Yeah, actually that water is reasonably warm. Unfortunately. It is going to slowly drive me mad that they keep doing that, by the way. Keep dropping things in that pedal. Like, why? It's one of those things. The definitely both female rabbits thing happened to a friend of mine. They had baby bunnies by the time they realized. Well, yeah, that'll often be the case. Like, if someone isn't used to keeping rabbits, they won't notice the signs of a rabbit who's getting nasty. Well, do we have enough copper to get some? Oh, we have a lot more copper now. Fantastic. I don't want that much. Let's not waste the stuff. I just need enough for a battery. That'll do. There we go. Right now, actually, we've got no unhappiness amongst the dupes. Oh, this is fantastic. Look at that. All of the oxygen. And this is pretty much all just coming from these oxyferns. Wow. I'm legitimately impressed with that. Mind you, they're drinking stupid amounts of water. So, you know, it's not really sustainable. It's better to get this going because that'll produce more water. More oxygen for the water, as far as I'm aware. Fairly certain the water economy is heavily in favor of a spawn. That being said, right now they're doing an amazing job, and I'm extremely happy. Fortunately, this doesn't lock based on the size of the world, so I can't quite tell where the edges are. Oh well. Alright, we've almost got all of the piping put together for the polluted water loop. Still working on some things down here, though. Hopefully we're soon going to be at a point where we no longer have to worry about food, at least. There we go. As soon as these get delivered... There we go. I don't mind them just being on the floor, I just don't want them all over the place. There are various ways that you can use stuff like that to try and control temperatures of things as well, which is quite nice. Who dat? Is it Irradiabolly? Ah, my lord, I can barely read from my tablet. Irradiabolly, thank you very much for the tier 3 sub. By the way, 8 months. Thank you so very much for the support. It is deeply appreciated. How are you doing? Right, new principles. Let's go and check this out. A Pufflet. Well, I mean, we're doing okay with oxygen. We could now start taking people. Slow learner, no. Narcoleptic, no. Bottomless star, no. Well, that was a whole lot of good. Ooh. Now, pufflets. We could farm them. Because the thing with the spom is it produces more oxygen than you can deal with. But a spom plus a pufflet branch allows you to create dense pufflets. And dense pufflets will, A, consume your runoff oxygen fairly comfortably as it happens. And B, will... It gives you the runoff oxygen as oxalate, which is significantly denser. So you can store that oxygen for a long time. Take care, Zucker. It's going really well, mate. Thank you for asking. Sure, I'll grab a pufflet. And if nothing else, I can produce some slime as well. Right, duplicant skills. Let's have a look. Shelley. Is it time yet? I think it's time. There you go. Astronomy for you. I could also give you improved carrying, so you're even better at carrying things around, and I think I shall. The Force... I mean, that isn't a bad one to take, because you like it so much, and we are going to be doing ranching soon, so yeah, I'll take it. And that way you can have a nice hat, too. On that note, let's get that one going as well. Yes, kiwis can fly! Hello, mate, how you doing? I love your name. Okay, so is polluted oxygen, assuming it's not full of slime lung germs, as good as oxygen? Yes and no. Your duplicants don't like breathing it, so it has a morale debuff. But for the sake of them breathing, yes, it does work. They won't die from breathing it. Right, there we go. Super duper hard digging. We needed that. As for you, I mean, you wouldn't mind grabbing... No, we're going to grab those. There we go. Food farming. And finally... Honestly, I guess I could give you strength. Just for the little bit of strength from tidying. That seems to work out okay for us. Now this area will have a door. And this part is going to be isolated. Ah, so I should have really had this further up. My bad, everyone. My bad. Let's get that sorted. There we go. Yellowfeeta, hiya! How are you doing? Thank you so much for the 26 months. Oh, lovely to see you in chat. We should have no problems with food for a while. Yeah, I am definitely thinking that we're going to need to set up a pump down here just to get things into the system itself. Now, this is already going to be stressing the system somewhat. I could upgrade to using heavy watt wire, but that is so incredibly expensive for what it is. I don't really want to. If I do that, then I'm going to want to bring it to one side or the other of the base, or up top of the base, so that I could then have a power transformer send the power into the base, but bit of a tricky one. That said, if I had that there, and I could have another one here, that would take care of everything in the base and everything down here. So I could have the more powerful heavy watt wire just running across it. Well, you know what? Sure. We need to get this prepped anyway, because at some point we're going to need it. Actually, let's have that run a little bit lower. It's wise in my opinion not to have it run along the floor. But having it run just above the floor should be fine. So we would have this there and another one here. Well, probably not so close together. Probably more something like this. One there. One there. I'm going to cancel that build just so that we don't accidentally trip any wires. Run that across. Then this one would run up like so. This one would just come down. Kind of want to run it up there, really. Something like this. There we go. That will do nicely. And I guess I'm just going to have to pop in a bit of grass there. Sorry, a bit of stone there. Right. That should get things on the go at the very least. Eventually then we'll connect all of that up. For the time being, I'm going to have this just cross this bridge using a bridge wire, just so I can get the rest of that run through.